Hello everybody, my name is Ecem. Today our topic is language in the media. Here are our titles. We have 8 different titles. First one is the introduction. Then the function of the media, language and power, sources of the news, media voices, public participation in the media, language, society and virtual power. Lastly, the summary of the whole chapter. I will talk about the first 4 titles about this topic, and then my friend will continue in the second part talking about the last 4 titles on this chapter. Here is the introduction. What do we understand from media? What is media? We can understand press, radio, television, and internet when we say media. If we have to think about the function of the media, we may ask, why do we use the media? For which purposes do we use media? We use media for different purposes such as information, entertainment, education, and so on. How about using media for entertainment? Many people, and I also, use media for entertainment too. Here's a term called infotainment. Infotainment is programs to entertain and to inform people at the same time, such as wildlife programs, documentary dramas, and talk shows. As we say, we get informed through media, but can we say media is a group of individuals who control what we read or watch, who manipulate what we read or watch? Actually, no. We can think of media as a complex institution consists of different processes, practices, and conventions. It is not something like someone writes a new to manipulate our thoughts about life. Here is our third title, Media, Language and Power. In this topic, we will talk about how linguistic structures that are used in media represent events and how this usage lead to different views on the same events, how this usage lead to different understandings on different incidents. The way people and events get reported is called linguistic representation. How we use language to report events is called linguist representation. Here is an example. One is from Daily Mail, a newspaper, and the other one is from Daily Mirror, another newspaper. They talk about the same events, but the way they are being told is different. Poison gang on the loose. Huge hunt for terrorists is armed with deadly resin. And the Daily Mirror says, it's here, deadly terror poison found in Britain. Basically, when we look at these two news from different newspapers, we can understand there is a poisonous toxic substance called resin, and there is also a group of terrorists. One of the newspapers emphasized that this poisonous substance is in Britain, and the other one emphasizes that police is still looking for those who are on the loose with a poisonous substance. Here is another example. This event happens in 2006 in a coal mine from America. First one says, alive, 12 trapped miners found in West Virginia miracle. And the other one says from Daily News, shock, they were told 12 trapped miners were alive, but they were lied to only one of them survived. These two newspapers emphasize different points on the same event with these headlines. In the first one from New York Post, we understand that the miners are alive and they were found. But in the second one from Daily News, it says miners were found alive, but they were like the only one of them survived. Therefore, their families felt sad and devastated too. We can also see the picture of them here. Here is the last title of my part. There are two terms about media. The first one is common sense dominant discourses. There is a tendency to use language in more common and similar ways between people or media. This is about people use the same language structures, sometimes similar or even the same language, language structures or words to talk about the same events or the same incidents. We call this common sense or dominant discourses. The other one is called symmetry. This is using more gender-free language, such as using they or them pronoun instead of he or she. My personal message is that I believe language used in media is about the perception of the news writers. While conveying something through media, how things might be understood by readers should also be considered. Also, conveying the truth through media is one of the things I find important. Thanks for listening to me. Now my friend will continue in the second part of the presentation.
Hi everyone, I am Beyza. Today we will talk about media voices, accent and register, public participation in the media, and language, social and virtual power. Let's start with the first one. The first one is media voices, accent and register. I want to start with two questions. The first one is when you listen to the news on your local radio station, what accent does the newsreader have? And the other one is this the same as those on the national or more prestigious radio station? In the early days of new broadcasting, advanced received pronunciation was used. This was an accent used by wealthy and highly educated people, and it was an accent that didn't show where the speakers came from, and it led to the rise of BBC English. BBC means British Broadcasting Corporation. In radio and television discourse, the occurrence of marked regional variation in accent in the national news tends to be organized according to a hierarchy within programs. For example, speakers in the studio read standard English, but specialist speakers who are outside the studio or at the scale may read regionally, and this situation can be interpreted differently by everyone. At the same time, accents of sports speakers, weather speakers, or political commentators can speaks regionally. One of the reasons for this is that the subjects they convey to people are different. And register. What is register? Register has been defined as linguistic variation according to the context of use. This means that We expect to find language used in different ways according to the situation it occurs in and according to different types of media. For example, we expect a video speaker to use technical words such as temperature, high or low pressure. I'm sorry. And but we also expect the speaker to address directly by saying, "Look at this rain moving from the west." And this makes the situation more descriptive and remarkable. And public participation in the media. The value of programs involving audience participation is increasing day by day. Thanks to this feature of the media, people became able to make their voices heard. And language, society, and virtual power. Firstly, have a look at the terms. CMC means computer-mediated communication, and MUDS means multi-user dimensions, and social identity, identity used in the internet, and people's social identity can be hidden in the virtual world. But it may be possible to disguise your identity on the net, but the people you interact with will still make assumptions about who you are based on what you say or how you say something. And Nedicate, yes. The internet enables people from all geographies to interact in a short time, and rules are set to control behavior. Inappropriate behavior is identified and sanctioned. And the final one is cyberspace, a socially powerful community. Thanks to internet, new groups and bulletin boards, it can be addressed to large audiences. This situation brings great awareness to the society. Too many participants can join events or protest on the internet in a short time. And that's all. Thank you so much for listening to me. See you next week.